Dad, what's for dinner?
So Jill Randall, she put this out. This basically is. Am I stretching to say it's a lie?
Yes.
What did she say about you and Jenny that made everybody get into a big hubbub about it?
Well, she basically she planted the first seed by saying that I did this for money. All of the dogs I ever pull are being killed for donations. Well, you just heard Jenny Armour saying that she does not even collect any of these pledges. Neither do I, because I'm a simple volunteer that just offers gas and time to do this for another rescue.
Wait a minute. You haven't bought 3 houses.
No, yeah, I'm trying.
What about the Mercedes?
And Monica, I think
stuff?
what you mean is
yeah.
we collect pledges, but they go into the nonprofit. They don't. There's no money dispersed to individuals.
You don't collect any of the pledges on
Not
the dogs
no,
I
no,
pull.
the ones
Never
you pull.
have.
No, because they go to Canada.
They go to Canada,
Yeah.
and the Canadian people, they pay the vet bills, they pay for the crates, they fly these dogs out.
Correct.
To fly 10 little chihuahuas out costs $1,000 just to fly.
Well, wait a minute. What about
$300 the crates, $500
And you
the
got,
health
that's right. And those are all of the bills and receipts and stuff that you showed me.
You want to have it?
No,
They're
you
right
showed them
here,
to me.
Foster.
I got them in an email. Tell me this.
$40,000, Foster, right
That's
here.
right. So tell me this.
And you're making so much money on this, Monica.
Exactly. Tell me
I
this.
need a new
So wait a minute.
car.
Wait
I
a
need a
minute.
new car, baby.
What proof does Jill Randall have that you are selling these dogs?
Well, rescues charge adoption fees to cover the cost of medical. Because, like, for example, we may take a dog in and we might spend $2,500 on it because it has a broken leg and needs surgery.
Right.
When we adopt that dog out, we'll charge $250.
Right.
We don't charge $2,500.
Right.
So where do you think that $2,500 comes from? It comes from all the $250s and miscellaneous donations adding up to cover those more expensive dogs that require.
And I'm sure because there are costs associated with it. So when people say to me, "Oh, they're selling dogs," and that's the reason behind their mentality of trying to destroy somebody, it doesn't work for me.
No.
But so this is the thing, though. Where is the proof that she's got against you that all
There
these
is
other
none.
see, because there's hundreds of people who jumped on this thread that we've been showing that don't know you. None of these people know you. Has anybody been to your house? Jenny, have they been to your house, been to your rescue?
No.
These are because one person is speaking from the United Kingdom. Okay? I talked to her personally. They're in London and they hate you. Do you been to England?
No, I know who you're talking about.
Okay.
That thread had 5,000 shares, 1,000 likes, and 2,500 comments in order to create a lynch mob to kill me. That's the thread about King, the senior German Shepherd that we earlier talked about.
Right.
Let me say something about King. So I was talking to a friend of mine. She has a large rescue. It's been around for 40 years. And she was hurt by that because somebody lost their pull rights and they were partnered. And so
Welcome. It was these guys.
We haven't lost our pull rights, not us, no.
Somebody else did, and because of that, they weren't able to pull. And so this herding of I wonder how many animals died because of this brouhaha
around this dog.
around this dog, because it
but
affected
my
a lot
thing is
more.
this: how does it happen that you don't know any of these people?
No.
And these people haven't been to your place to inspect anybody. Not that you have to have them, but none of these people know you guys. But yet they will go on Facebook and speak as if they've done a thorough
investigation.
Yes.
Yes. Actually, these people
based on emotional need.
Say again, Christopher.
I'm sorry, did that break up? It's a feeding frenzy that I spoke about earlier. It doesn't have to be informed. They pile on, sort of like when they see something going on there, it gives them some stimuli. The expression "one having too much time on their hands" really applies, especially from some of these
You're totally
international stuff. They get in there, they have no information on it. Even if they spend some time to look into it, which many of them haven't, they're just following the lead of someone else, which was incorrect in the first place, and they pile all in there, disrupt and feel the ropes. That's a way to get in there and cause quarrel, as if they again have a whole lot of idle time and a whole lot of unused emotionalism that they need to spill over. And like was just previously pointed out, that often is at the detriment of the animals we're supposed to be saving.
Mm-hmm. And it's an interesting psychology. And again, people, the reason we're doing this is to try to make the process better, make Facebook better, make rescue better, save people's lives and save dogs' lives. Period. So just continuing on, because we got a caller and I'm going to bring on in a minute Jennifer, somebody about King, but that would be good. And thanks for your participation on it. I just want to move forward a little bit more because I'm trying to understand and let all of you understand how this happens, because the secret is all of you guys not participating in this kind of behavior in the future. Again, I believe that most people are right. And as Christopher said, most people want to help. They want to do the right thing. They're trying to support. But you have to be careful how you get involved, and you're not just jumping in on something. The best thing is don't write and don't speak about something that you don't know about. Just read it, right, Christopher? Just read it and let it go. Now you're informed. But don't throw in 2 cents, because you don't know where it came from and how it came about. So before
if you don't know the background, you shouldn't be speaking. If you don't know authoritatively on something, you shouldn't speak. The people who speak without call, whom do not know the subject matter they're speaking about, are those who have something going on in them. It's not about the animals. It's not even about the cause. Put another cause, whatever it is, it's about them. They have an inherent need to speak. Yeah. They cannot govern what ails them inside. So they'll go in there and fan the flames of something and undermine something that they should be, and then call that advocacy. It isn't.
Oh, well put.
You should do anger management groups or Trolls Anonymous or something, and Christopher.
I do. I just don't get paid for it.
Yeah, very well put. Okay, let me see. Caller, who is this?
Hello.
Hello, who is this?
Hi, Foster. This is Jen Prossman calling.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm blessed to be here today. And did you know it's Paula Archer's son's birthday?
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, and that means actually 35 years ago today, Paula was going, but that's a whole nother story. Yes.
No way.
Oh, boy.
Somebody did that.
Oh, Foster, you have no idea what we go through.
Yeah, I know it. And better you than me, man. Listen, so what do you have to add to this conversation?
Okay. King, first of all, I'm not sure whether everybody is privy to the actual facts of King.
Well, we just got him, but I don't know if you heard, but tell us what your slant on the situation.
What was your involvement, Jennifer?
What is my involvement?
With King?
I was called by the sponsors who put forth some money towards King.
And who was that?
Their last name is Boyer.
Okay.
Long story short, Anna am I allowed to say people's names?
Yes, please. That's what this show is about.
I'm Canadian, so I'm not quite sure what your laws are down there.
This is our laws.
I've already been.
Our laws.
I've already been threatened by a bunch of Americans that they're going to sue me and blah blah blah.
You
so
too?
I'm like, oh God.
Well, welcome to my world. been threatened by a bunch of Americans too. You know, so I might have to end up in Canada.
There. I'm going to sue you.
Yeah, I might have to end up in Canada. You know, this is the thing. What this show is about is turning the light on. This show is about being open and a discussion.
People need a lot of lights
proof.
turned on, that's for sure.
Yeah, we don't operate in the dark. You know, we don't deal with not saying names. That's one thing I'm really
Great.
big on.
I think names need to be named.
Correct. Go right ahead.
Amen. Here we go. First of all, Monika pulled King.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning she exited him from the building.
Okay.
She claimed at first that she did not pull King, so she lied.
She did? Did you say you didn't
she
pull
lied.
King? Oh, wait a second. We got it right here.
May I correct this?
Yes, go right
I
here.
PM'd her. I never went on this King thread. And I said I
Correct,
did not.
correct. No. Hold on.
Wait a second, guys. Wait. One at a time. All right. So you said
Hang on,
that.
Monika. You said you didn't pull him.
Wait a minute. Let her
really,
explain.
I produced.
Stop for a second, dear. I have to cut you off the air if you don't listen to me, okay? Okay. So hold on. Let her respond. Then you can respond. We ain't going nowhere. Go ahead, Monika.
Okay.
It was a sentence that I PM'd her in which I said I did not pull King. And I corrected it right after, and I said I did not pull King for my own purpose, for my own rescue. I do not pull German Shepherds. I pulled this dog for those two individuals, and she took the half sentence out, which she then put in the King thread. Monika did not pull King, and she left the second half of the sentence when I said, I need to correct this. I did not pull King for myself. I do not pull German Shepherds for myself. For my own rescue in Canada, which is called Funds for Pets. They cannot take large animals.
Okay, so
that's
tell me
what
this.
it was.
Okay, so hold on one second.
Either way, Monika, you pulled the dog.
So Jennifer,
Yes, I did.
right.
Jennifer,
But wait a
I
minute.
admit
Stop
it.
for a second. I'm trying to follow this, guys, because remember, I know nothing. Okay, I'm stupid. So we're gonna dumb this down to the umpteenth level. All right, so this is a conversation, Jennifer, between you and Monika, correct?
Yes, PM.
No, Monika went, no.
No, wait
Monika.
a minute. Okay, she says yes, you say no.
No, Monika, you went on a public thread and said that.
No,
That
I
you never
PM'd
pulled
you.
him.
I PM'd you. I never went on the King thread. Never did.
I'm not saying you went on the King thread.
You pasted and copied everything.
Did you
onto the
paste
King.
and copy the conversation between you two, Jennifer, onto another thread?
No, I did not,
Jennifer,
actually.
I got a screenshot.
It's in the video, Foster.
Jennifer, I got a screenshot.
Right. You saying that the original message that you said I didn't pull King, I didn't produce that.
Jennifer,
What?
we got a screenshot of you putting it on that thread.
Right. That is my thread.
So
Someone said. Sorry?
So how did it get there? Is somebody posting under your name?
What do you mean?
The screenshot is of you saying Monika said this. You saying this is what Monika said.
Right. I pasted it.
So that
I pasted
was
it
a
and said,
conversation
Monika, did you
between.
say that? You said yes, Monika. I did
I'm
not
saying,
pull the dog.
Jennifer,
and I
wait
said,
a second.
Oh,
I'm trying to
really?
follow. She just said, Monika. Jennifer. She just said that you took half of your conversation with her and posted half of it. Why didn't you post the whole thing? Because you were trying to mislead people.
No, Foster. I'll
Why?
send you the entire conversation. Actually, I'll add you to the PM, Foster.
No, I
Monica
don't.
and
I'm
I have.
added to enough PMs. Thank you very
Right.
much. I
Right
appreciate
before
it.
she
I'm just trying to
blocked me.
understand.
This is the-
No, I'm just
Foster,
trying to
this is the
understand
funny
it.
thing about Monika McComb.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Two things. First of all, she said she didn't pull the dog. Then she retracts that.
Wait a
and
minute.
says,
She said she
after-
pulled the dog
wait a
already.
minute.
So let's
No,
move
no, no.
past that. She said she pulled the dog.
Okay, then I produced the shelter documents with her name on it, and she goes, "Oh shit." Okay, yes, I did.
Wait a minute.
Then
Wait a
she
minute. Wait a
says-
minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So you have Monika.
Yeah.
There's shelter documents with your name on them.
Yes.
Which ones are those
Those are the regular papers
that you pulled?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Jennifer.
Correct. And the thing is, Monika didn't realize that I had the ones that she was not able to black her name out on.
Mm-hmm.
So it says Monika McComb.
Wait a minute.
her
Is this
signature, and I
before?
said,
Let me
"Monika,
ask
did
you.
you
Let
forget
me
what
try
your
to.
name was?"
Yeah. Let me figure this out. Is this before or after it became a big deal?
After he was already dead.
No, I'm not talking about after. I'm talking about that there's a mob action. See, I'm trying to understand if it was a bunch of, and again, pardon me because I'm stupid. So I try to make it so everybody can understand it. All right?
Okay.
I'm the guy running down the street. It's a whole bunch of people running down with axes and bats and shit. Kill that motherfucker. So now I'm supposed to say, yeah, I did it. Is that what you're telling me? Or was that happening before the mob got involved?
That hadn't happened yet.
Okay.
And actually, for the record, Foster,
yes,
I have yet to see these death threats and so on and so forth.
Oh, I got, hey, Jennifer, believe me, I got.
Show them to me,
I got
Foster.
50. Show them. Look
Produce
on the
them to
video.
me.
Okay, look on the show after when we put it back up. I got tons of them. Screenshots, tons of them. So believe me, it's real. I'm looking at them. Well, I don't know whose thread this is. You said you never saw them. I was saying, what thread? Who started this thread, Monica?
Jennifer Protman and then Constance Gazzopolo.
This is the same thread?
Monica, there are two. That's a different thread.
Okay, see, there you go, Jill. Jennifer, you familiar with it though. So this is not your thread. This was Constance's thread.
Correct.
Bottom
So
line,
get it right,
okay,
or don't get it at all.
but the bottom line is these death threats are real. So
I haven't actually, even on Constance's thread, I have yet to see a death threat.
Oh,
but
but that doesn't matter. They're real. I'm telling you, they're real. I'm looking at them. I saw them when they were being posted. They were sent to me then. That's how I got involved in the whole thing. So they're real.
Can I ask you one question?
Sure.
I have been notified, let's say, by the Facebook people. That the reason, and the death threats are to Anna, are they not? Or are they to Monica as well?
Both of us.
Both of them.
Oh, okay. I was notified
That's all
that
right.
by Christine Evans, that Monica was of, I don't know how to say this politically correctly, mentally handicapped, if you will.
Me?
Okay, what proof do you have of that?
I don't, and that's why I said.
So,
I am
well,
mentally
if she's mentally
handicapped.
handicapped, then what the hell is she doing rescuing dogs?
So okay, but I'm saying the fact that Jennifer, listen to yourself though.
Nasty.
The fact that what you're saying is
You're making a life and a death decision.
what?
Okay, and if you were
But wait a minute,
Jennifer.
Jennifer. Did you hear what you, Christopher?
Yes.
Are you hearing this?
Yes, sadly.
Okay.
The life and death decision was that Monica saved this dog's life from the shelter. That was the life and death decision.
Right, but beyond that, though, wait a minute, Jennifer, listen, because I love you for participating, but what you just said is just what we're talking about. You said you just basic. Wait a minute, you just said. Let me finish.
You cannot use one excuse.
Wait a minute, no, listen to me. Look, I'm not talking about.
I call bullshit.
No, wait a minute. I'm not talking about the dog. I'm talking about you just said on this show. Somebody told me she was crazy, so I say she's crazy. That's exactly what Christopher just said.
She said handicapped.
Crazy, handicapped, same thing. I'm saying that's
hearsay.
Jennifer, you don't have any proof of that.
Handicapped, and I said,
but Jennifer,
okay,
stop. You don't have any proof.
Have you even read my thread, Foster?
Jennifer, I'm saying what you just said is you just said that somebody said she was handicapped. Why would you even repeat that? You don't know that to be true. You don't. That's what I'm saying. You defaming somebody's character based upon something that somebody told you. Hearsay. That ain't right.
What?
If somebody told me that Jennifer was insane.
She understands perfectly what you're saying. She's just totally deflecting it, which is a typical thing for a troll to do. Totally deflect anything that anybody's saying to them.
Oh, okay. Then I'll try to say that. Jennifer, this is the thing. Is what you're saying here, dear, is based on it sounds so ludicrous. I can't understand that because you made sense up until here. And for you to say that and act like you don't realize. Why don't you just? I mean, that's the same thing as they say. Well, I can't even. Anyway, okay, so go ahead.
Foster, have you read my thread?
No, I don't read threads. Do you know how many people add me to threads?
Okay,
what I'm talking.
So
go ahead. Listen,
it's
not about your thread, dear.
Right now
it's about what you just said.
Let me ask you a question, Jennifer. Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
What made you take action against Monika and upset about this whole thing? What is it exactly? What do you think happened? Do you think she took this dog out? And then the dog, okay, but she says that she added something. So the truth is in the details most of the time. It's not, if she said that and then she went back and said, actually, I didn't mean that. You know how busy and crazy everybody is in rescue. You're running, you're writing 5 emails. But the fact of the matter is, I'm trying to find out what you think Monika did and what is making you so angry.
Okay, first of all, when you pull a dog, you are the bridge between life and death.
Right.
When you pull a dog, you are now responsible for that dog. Period.
I don't agree. A lot of people pull. No, I totally don't agree. When you pull out, well, does the dog end up there? So if somebody pulls a dog for a rescue and the rescue has a foster, or
we'll get to that.
Well, yeah, but is it the puller's fault if something happens?
Yes.
Why would it be the puller's fault when they did their job?
Because you have a responsibility for the dogs that you pull.
We're talking about pullers.
Wait a minute, Jennifer, how many dogs have you pulled?
How many dogs have I pulled?
Yeah.
Out of a California shelter?
No, period.
3.
Period.
Probably 5. Nowhere near 400.
Wait a minute. 5 in your entire. Wait a minute. Say 5 in your entire history as a puller?
I'm not a puller.
What do you do?
I'm a rescuer and I'm a networker.
You own a rescue?
I don't own a rescue. I'm part of one. Yeah.
Oh, what does part of one mean? You're talking between the lines. Be very specific for me, please.
I am a networker. I live in Canada. I don't actually pull a dog out of a shelter.
So you don't. So you really don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about how it should be, because you're not doing this every day. So I'm saying, do you know any? Okay, answer me this.
That's what I'm talking about.
Answer me this. Do you know anyone who has pulled 400 dogs? That you
apparently Monika has.
No, I'm not talking about mine. We know that. I'm talking about in your life. Do you know anyone personally that's pulled?
No, thank fucking God I don't.
Okay, what do you mean, thank fucking God? So you say let the dogs die?
Here's the thing, Foster.
No, I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question.
Dogs.
Right. See, Jennifer, in the world that I live in, I'm dealing with a lot of people all over the world. So for you, somebody that pulled 400 dogs may be a big deal. But I'm saying I'm dealing with people that have been in rescue 15, 20 years. Okay? So it's not a big deal when people throw these numbers at. People are doing stuff internationally. There's all kinds of stuff going on. So just because you're not familiar with something doesn't make it bad. But
Exactly. You know that a rescue can pull a mama dog or a mama cat with 10 kittens or puppies, and there you have 11 pulled by one rescue in one day.
Correct. And
puppy dies.
The rescue, Monika, whether you believe it or not, actually begins with the pull. And if you don't have a plan, and if you are a puller and there's no plan attached to that dog, shame on you. And the fact that you didn't even know that King existed, shame on you. The fact that Open Arms didn't know King existed until after the shit hit the fan, shame on them.
One thing to say.
Know every single
I have one
dog
thing.
that's pulled under their card.
Well, you know what? You've only dealt with 5 dogs. Let me tell you something. In Southern California, there's hundreds dying every single day.
Right.
You can't keep track of every single dog. It's just not possible.
If a rescue does not know every single dog that's pulled under its card, that's shady shit. Period.
Okay, but listen.
It's called accountability.
Okay, but
none of you people want accountability. I don't get it. I don't
think
understand
everybody.
It.
No, I think that everybody should. But my point is this: Monika started off with saying that there was a problem with this dog. So
she didn't know that till after the fact.
Right.
But okay.
But my point being this.
Exactly.
Okay, first of all, you only having, you're brand new in the business so to speak as this super expert, I understand your enthusiasm, but you could back off a little bit. But again, this is my thing, is if Monika has done all of this great work, and she admittedly had a problem with this.
First of all, great work is...
Okay, so what other stuff do you have against Monika?
For me, it's called accountability. And if you're
wait a minute. For me, listen, I'm asking you a fact. You pulled 5 dogs. This woman has been doing this for years. What else?
That doesn't make her an expert.
No, but what does it make you? That's what I'm saying. What makes you an expert?
But she thinks she's an expert on her mental
Wait a minute,
state.
Lisa. Wait a second. We have Jennifer, the lady in Florida, is trying to say something. Go ahead, Lisa.
Jennifer, obviously you think you're an expert on Monika's mental state because of what somebody else told you. So you're using that as your factual basis when you've never spoken to either of them.
I never said.
Now that's trolling. You understand?
She
You're
doesn't
quoting
understand
somebody
that.
who you don't know using false information, and that is trolling. That's exactly what we're talking about.
Okay, I have a question. So Monika pulled the dog. Didn't know the plan, right? Monika, you did not know the plan for the dog, correct?
Okay, but wait a
Because
second. Wait a second,
Jennifer.
Jennifer, wait a second, though.
Excuse me.
Go ahead, Paula.
I have something to say.
Go ahead, Paula.
Okay.
It's my understanding, and I don't know all of the facts, but it's my understanding that there was a plan for this dog, King, but it fell apart. And as we all know, the best laid plans of men and mice, not everything goes as it's planned. Everything has a hiccup now and again from day to day. So how can you blame somebody for something when, things happen? I mean, I don't know that I'm going to go to Walmart today and not get run over and killed by somebody in the parking lot. I have plans for dinner, but I'm not going to make it, obviously, because I'm dead at Walmart. So, I mean, the plans are, but they can always change. Right. So how can you blame someone when there are things out of their control?
Right. And Jennifer, let me ask you a question, okay? You want you to turn her back up, Chris? I think
you're responsible to have a backup plan.
Jennifer.
You don't just let him sit in a cage for a month and then kill him.
Jennifer, let me ask you this, okay? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So if what your problem was with Monika, right?
With Monika and Open Arms, yes.
Okay. So tell me what is it, and we're trying to, we're asking inside of your head, since you say you started this thread, what is it that you hope to accomplish with starting to keeping this thread going? Because I'm looking at, and you say that you know nothing about death threats, but your name is right behind people saying stuff. So you're posting, so obviously you're caught up in the frenzy, and you're posting and not reading. But what was it that you hoped to accomplish? To get this woman killed? To get her ran out of rescue? To get what? You're in Canada. Were you going to get enough people to help raise money so you can come down here and kick her ass? Or where you wanted? What was the end goal here?
The end goal is that I hope that at the end of the day, Monika realizes that these are lives.
Okay, so wait a minute. So you had to wait a minute. You had to have 1,000 people jump on. You create this frenzy of 1,000 people to talk about this woman, have her life threatened, for Monika to realize that a dog is a life. Is that what you're really saying?
I don't think she gets it.
Wait a minute. You don't think. Wait a minute. You're getting there, though. You're getting there. You don't think. But wait a minute. Couldn't you have simply continued with that PM with you and Monica instead of getting 1,000. Wait a minute. You said that you wanted Monica to realize that this is a life. So you're saying that 1,000 people threatening her will make her realize it's a life? Is that really what you're saying?
Threatening her. Wow. Really?
Is that what you're saying? Is that, Jennifer, you're sounding...
Foster, I think you're blowing this a little out of proportion.
I'm not blowing it out of proportion. This woman's life has been threatened.
I don't even know 1,000 people, dear.
Jennifer, why do you think it's your job to tell Monica what she should think? Why is that your job? Who assigned that job to you?
It's my right to tell Monica what I feel.
No, she didn't ask you that. Yeah, you said your job.
I never said it was my job. Where
That's
did I
what
say
you
it was
said.
my job?
That's what you said.
I guess here's the thing.
Wow.
Monica and I have very different opinions about ethics,
Well,
morals, and what rescue's about,
what you're doing, but Jennifer, what we're doing is we're trying to just get to the
truth.
The truth and the psychology behind this mob mentality. You don't understand. You don't see that?
I guess I do. I think it's interesting that when a person gets called out for facts.
What facts? You don't have any facts. That's the whole point. You don't have any facts. You just told me that somebody told you that she was mentally handicapped. What facts?
I said that was part of this.
But you said it, Jennifer.
Yes.
You said it.
That's how
you
ridiculous
stated it like
got.
it was fact, Jennifer.
That's defamation of character.
You did. You said that somebody told me, so you used it. So you said it on the air to say that how she was making judgments. So obviously you took that in and made it true. You made it a fact in your mind.
And you wanted other people to believe it.
And you passed it on because you just gave it to me. Mm-hmm. You just told it to me.
It's gotten as bad as Team Monica has said, how dare you put such and such a person in a position where they feel suicidal, la, 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 la. Okay.
Well, I would feel.
Didn't do that.
Listen at you.
Suicidal, la, 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 la.
Listen at you,
Who
Jennifer.
Who doesn't care about life?
See, that's what you tell him. You just said, Jennifer, you said that I want Monica to know that these dogs are life. And you just said, fuck a life, a human life. Is basically what you said.
That.
You did. You said la la la.
Foster, no.
You said la la la. Didn't you? Or am I crazy now? Didn't you say la la la?
You
said after suicide.
Had nobody responding to you. Jennifer, if you had nobody responding to you on those threads, how could you have continued a conversation? You had to go and pull other people in to back up what you thought was correct information, which had nothing to do with any of the truth. So would you have sat there and kept talking to yourself? I'm curious.
Wait a minute. So,
no, I was.
Jennifer, 1 second. Jennifer, I don't know if you're familiar with Danny. Danny Mason, my partner on the show here. Danny is not on Facebook, and Danny's been listening to this. I got to ask him. Danny, Danny is our barometer. Danny's totally neutral. He doesn't know nothing. Based upon what you've been hearing in the last few minutes, what do you say, sir?
This is what I like. For me, as somebody that's not on Facebook or, really off the grid, so to speak, like when I see people engage and somebody has an irrational, thought process, something that just kind of categorically you can say, you know what, you're a little bit off. Like, you say things and do things that are just a little bit off. I don't need to continue a dialogue or an engagement with you. That will usually just try to self-serve some type of void that I may have within myself. Like when somebody says the basic stuff that she said, and then you try it for 30 minutes to try to get understand what that means. We have to own some of our own craziness at that point, because it's kind of that's why I watch WWF as opposed to being on Facebook, I suppose, because this same type of thing is literally it's just interesting. It's an interesting dynamic to watch from the outside, so to speak. Even if somebody said when you argue with somebody and they'll say, hey, you were there. I saw your face. And you'd be like, I wasn't there. Here's the proof that I was somewhere else. Usually in a court of law, they'd be like, oh, obviously he was somewhere else or she was somewhere else. But if somebody says, no, maybe your phone was made in space and can manufacture those pictures, and then you go back and forth for 30 minutes knowing that you weren't somewhere.
Right.
Like, she's responding to something that clearly she knows, and you say, oh, here's the documentation, and then somebody else says, oh, no, that's not true. I was just doing it. It's like, it's just...
It makes you crazy.
It'll make you crazy, and I don't understand the...
Because I'm sitting here going nuts, because, you know...
But that doesn't bother you?
I want to talk about solutions and how to get people to stop attacking other people. For no good reason, because, you know, shit happens. You know, what happened to King is horrible, but, you know, the stuff... With the amount of, what I've been trying to say is with the amount of dogs, this is a crisis, with the amount of dogs that are being dealt with, dogs come out sick, dogs come out aggressive, everyone policing everybody else, and if somebody does mostly good and then something happens and everybody doesn't know the details about what happened and they just start attacking, that's wrong. It's just wrong, and it's a waste of time when other dogs are dying. You know, how much time has been spent on talking about King and who's responsible? Who's responsible? If she didn't pull him, he would have been gone. He would have been gone anyway. If Monika didn't pull him, he would have been gone.
That's what had me giggling while I was listening to this. I was like, it popped up in my head that if somebody were to talk about Foster, this is something that you'll identify with, like. It popped up in my head that, like, if somebody came out and said, you know how many slaves sprained their ankle after they left, after Harriet Tubman rescued them from the plantation and they were trying to escape? Like, you know how many slaves rolled their ankles after she rescued them from,
she got them up. No,
like Harriet Tubman she's the worst. Like, she's responsible for all of these rolled ankles or whatever. And it's like, you know what? Yeah, Harriet Tubman probably had a primary, a secondary, a third plan, but just like Paula said, sometimes shit gets fucked up when you're trying to do something that is difficult or hard or whatever. And despite your social beliefs and what slant you might want to put on it, those dogs gotta get pulled. We're in a place where so many of these dogs are dying, like, on a regular, like, daily basis, that somebody's got to go in there and pull these dogs. Sometimes a rescue needs somebody else to go do that work. You're not doing it. The 5 animals that you rescued, there's people on the front lines that are doing this every day, sometimes just to help another organization do what it is that they have to do. And yes, we are all culpable as people in the rescue community to at some point, you do feel a sense of accountability for this animal as well, but, like, you're also not necessarily have to be a defender of your life for doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think everybody should be a little bit more aware of what it is they're doing, but, like, the trolling, it's just interesting learning about what this is, because when I can see it for my face, like, it literally jumped off of this piece of paper into my ears onto video right in front of my face. So it became so absolutely crystal clear to me what this issue is, and I'm like, wow, these are the nuts that you guys deal with every day? Like, how the hell did you do this? Like, also, how many dogs' lives are being lost?
Also, may I say one word?
Yes,
what this has done?
Go ahead, Monika.
I don't want to say what this has done to me. I can't even describe it, but I want to say what this has done to the Carson shelter dogs. 30 Carson shelter dogs are dying now every month because Jenny Armour has withdrawn 3 pullers because she has been harassed, her rescue has been harassed. And whose fault is this? Everyone on this thread has been killed. 3 dogs every single month because of this.
So tell me this. What is happening with the Carson shelter? Jenny, you being a rescue, because you can tell me, because I've gotten a couple of people have contacted me and says Carson shelter is the worst. Carson shelter is the worst. What is the story with that from a rescuer's standpoint?
Well, okay, Carson is part of the LA County shelter system. There's also the LA City shelter system, 2 separate systems. So several shelters fall under each umbrella. Carson, who we're speaking of, is one of the most overpopulated shelters. I mean, they do the best they can there, but unfortunately, because these shelters in LA are so overpopulated, they do what they have to do. They are euthanizing dogs. I mean, but where are the dogs going to go? They have, you got to look at it from their point of view too. They have to make space. So what do? They dogs get exited to rescues. They work with a lot of rescues to exit these animals, so they can go into rescues. Since obviously there's a lot of dogs that come in that are injured. So they can't be exited to the public. They're sick, they can't be exited to the public. They have behavioral problems, they can't be exited to the public. So they are made available to rescues.
Okay. So
what happened was the person that lost their pull rights usually pulls like 30 dogs a month from Carson.
Yeah, small breed dogs, and
now she can't.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So this is what I want to do. Since the situation is sad with Carson and there's dogs dying. And I want to give Paula Archer opportunity, gang, if we could take a 5-minute break to save some dogs that we have on our show, in our system right now. Paula, do you have some dogs that we could find some homes for?
Honey, I always have dogs that I'm looking for homes for.
Well, gosh darn it.
A couple of them are actually mine.
Yeah, right.
You vile, evil person.
That's right.
Type.
The dogs they all just set up like, Okay, so let's save some dogs. Everybody, this is your little bathroom break. All of the guests on the line and on Skype and everything. If you guys can just hold on, we'll get back to you. We're gonna save some dogs. It'll take 5 minutes, and I'm gonna pay some bills with my sponsor, Pitbull Energy Drink. HipHopBev.com. If you haven't had any, you need to. Okay, so Paula, Chris, take it away.
Okay, these next dogs.
Lisa, I want to go through some of these phone calls real quick to just see, because I've lost Monica. She had to be at work, so I don't want to talk about that a whole lot more, but I still have Jenny here in the studio, so if it's something that is addressing, because we have other issues I want to bring up, different things. So who's calling right now? Who's on the line? Who are we talking to? Hello.
Hello.
Hi, who's this?
This is Ana Jimenez.
It doesn't sound like Ana Jimenez.
It's Ana Jimenez.
It doesn't sound like it. I'm not sure. How can I prove that?
I can play the voice message of me being threatened by the UK lady.
Somebody threatened. Oh, okay, Ana Jimenez. So no, you just said you're calling in to just to verify that the threats were made against you guys.
Yes.
Okay.
And I wanted to tell Jennifer Trotman that I'm not mentally retarded or whatever she said I was.
Well, that was she was talking about Monica anyway, and that was an evil, nasty, ugly, troll-like comment to make. Everybody in the studio and everybody watching and listening that heard it understands where they're coming from. I would ask someone like Jennifer to have myself mentally evaluated if I was going to even say things like that about people in public. But Lisa spoke to that mentality, and Christopher in Florida, he spoke to that. That's right. There's a need inside of people that they have a void. They're trying to make themselves feel like somebody else. But thank you so much, Anna. We're going to move on. Who else we got here? Hello?
Tasha Batten Smiles.
Hello?
Tasha.
Yes.
Tasha?
Yes, it's Tasha.
Hi, Tasha. What do you have to say?
Well, I was calling in because I was told that Monica and everyone in the studio right now was talking about me.
No, I haven't said your name.
I haven't even heard your name.
Nobody said your name.
Kasha Batten Smiles.
No.
With Monika McComb and
so somebody
Jennifer
told
is on there.
somebody
no,
told
wait a minute. Who
you
is
this.
Somebody
it sounds
first?
like hearsay.
Yeah, who is somebody first? We don't play games.
People who were
who is
listening,
people? Who is people?
People who are listening
who
into
is
the
people?
show
What's
right
their
now.
name? What's their name?
There's quite a few of them.
What?
So
Say their names then. Go down the names. I got to write it down because I have to keep track. That's my job. Or else
I haven't heard your name mentioned.
So no one was talking.
Wait a minute.
Okay,
No.
Well, then I apologize.
No, they may have. I'm trying to understand who said it.
Have a wonderful day.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
It was a troll thing. It's a troll thing.
Hearsay. More hearsay. They're trying to cause problems.
Right. Who's calling? Okay, nobody else. That's all the phone calls. So that's a perfect
I'm
example.
to see exactly how it works. Like it's like a 2015 mob mentality, and it's just interesting seeing it work in front of your face.
Even if
like,
you
hey,
don't
man,
do
somebody
anything,
was talking about me.
it causes.
Oh my God, I've never even heard of that person.
All right, then go ahead. It's like,
wait a minute, no. Wait, it always kills me.
That they weren't talking about her. Maybe she wanted to be talked about because then she gets her back patted.
Right, but that's the mob, right? The mob.
They're talking about you.
Yeah, they're talking about
Call
you
up
too.
and be mean.
This is the thing, but she wouldn't say who. You see, that's the clue. Like, guys, Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, we got to start putting the spotlight.
Hey, man, I lived through this shit.
The people
I know,
who cause problems because
I'm
they're
63 years old. Believe me, I know Klan mentality. All right, I know it very well. It's like I know it's the feeling when 6 people walk into the grocery store, right, Danny? And then you walk in, and all of a sudden, you can hear that motor and that camera going. It's panning with you.
No,
they're not being racist. They're not saying all black people steal. it's
just they grab their bag.
Yeah. It's like, So I understand it. It's the same thing that when you walk down the street with a pit bull, everybody across the street. Buy into the bullshit.
But like in that example, clearly, like if you're a patron and you say, well, you know what? I feel like I have the right to go shopping and grab groceries from wherever it is that I like, right? Mm-hmm. I shouldn't be forced to go to another grocery store, say outside of my community or where I got to waste more gas to go down the street or whatever. Right. But I do also have certain things that I can do to not be subject to those types of things. And I think as long as there's some type of balance, like if we own the things that we can own and say, hey, you know what? I'm not doing too much. I'm not out there just setting myself up or throwing gasoline on the fire. I think, you know what? You do deserve and should expect certain protocols and certain protections or certain aspects of privacy. But at the same time, you can't also say, hey, man, how come Facebook ain't protecting me from these evil forces or whatever? I'm like, you know what? Own some of it. Let's see, hopefully some of these laws and stuff, maybe sometimes the technology, it takes a little bit of time for the people that created these things to get up to speed. You saw it with YouTube. You see how, after a while, at first you could just put whatever it is that you wanted on YouTube, you know what I mean? The copyright stuff was took a while to catch on, but now it's kind of like somebody implemented another technology that can be incorporated into this macro technology that allows your copyrighted material to get policed a little bit more effectively, and the trolls of YouTube are starting to dissipate slowly but surely. And I'm sure there's some money in it for the people that control the gateway, but it did take some time. So maybe we keep putting some pressure on. Well,
this is what I'd like to find out. I'd like to ask this question, but first, Paula, do you have any more dogs? So I need to know before I hit the end. You do. Okay, so remind me of that, you and Chris, so I don't close us out, okay? I would like to talk now for a moment, since we got everybody, about solutions. You said solutions earlier. How can, because this is the thing, there are legitimate issues in rescue that need to be addressed. There are, and for lack of a better word, I don't know about rescues, but there's bad people doing things in rescue that people like you, Jenny, that run a business, you're doing it out of love. Your profession is in real estate. That's where you make your living, you provide your family. So what you're doing in rescue is out of love for animals and so when people do come in who are doing unsavory things, they need to be found out about and different things. So, and that's my dilemma, Lisa, for an extent to, I'm not trying to give off the impression that I'm against people finding out about people doing wrong. What I'm against is the lynch mob mentality. I'm against the process as it is now, because if someone says, well, rescue's got a police rescue, but yes and no. But you can't have it where where it's not structured? You know, what are the rules? Is it with all of these threads where thousands of people jump on and all of this stuff, is the answer for all of these people to put their energy in a different direction to forming some sort of a national organization that would have rules to it? You know, because to me, you don't necessarily want the government to get involved, but the government almost needs to be involved because anybody can right now go hang their shingle out on a rescue.
I started something called the Legal Rescue Coalition with a couple of attorneys, with actually a doctor who does polygraph testing, and his are the only polygraph tests allowed in California criminal courts. And he's an animal lover, and he said, I'd be happy to help out. And then an online defamation investigator. So, you know, I've been really busy, but that is the goal, is to create some kind of group that can address what's happening in rescue. And, you know, that's one way, but that'll take a while to get set, but we've already given people information on cease and desist letters and stuff like that. Also, what the person who makes the thread, it's kind of your responsibility to boot people off who are causing problems. Right. Because I noticed, because the person who starts the thread has that responsibility. Responsibility, right. and they have that option. So if some big major blowout happens, just say, look, if you don't stay on point about rescuing these animals, you're off the thread. And put your foot down.
Exactly. I've had to do that in my own articles. I have said to people, you're trying to hijack the story. The story is not what you want it to be. The story is about whatever the story was. I can't remember. There's been a number of them. One of them happened to be about some dogs in Tampa that were illegally taken by an animal control, and people who hated the rescue, who were responsible for the dogs, started to hijack the thread. I said to them, stop posting people's personal information on here. This has nothing to do with the story. If you don't stop posting it, I'm going to get you booted off the thread. And they said, oh, is that a threat? And I said, yes, the threat is if you don't stop posting this stuff, I'm going to have you removed. Which I think, as the writer of the article, I'm fully within my realm of watching what goes on and how people speak to each other. And I said, look, if you're not going to be polite, if you're just going to start sitting here bashing people, I don't need to watch this, and nobody wants to read this.
I think that's a really good idea. And I mean, I've done it when I put stuff up about the show when we were gonna have the Angels Journey Home show. It turned into this whole thing, like 999 posts in like 2 days. Why? And what was it? It was about this rescue in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, and people. That's a whole nother nasty, ugly, long, again, attack situation and all kinds of stuff. This is literally still going on. And then there's going to be some legal action behind it. But the point being, on that thread, I was deleting people. I was deleting people's comments. I took responsibility from exactly what you guys are saying, and I hadn't thought about that, but everybody should take responsibility if you start a thread about the stuff that's going on over it. So someone like Jennifer, you participated and allowed and egged on that mob mentality. You led into the feeding frenzy. You could have kept, if your so-called point was to get Monica to understand that the dog's life, which is kind of stupid in reality for duh. This woman has been rescuing for years. You don't think she knows that a dog's life is, but so I don't know. That's why I talked to this.
It's irrational.
Yeah, there was this woman. Remember Amanda Coates, Paula?
Oh God, yes.
You know, this woman had a sub agenda. She wanted to get the hero badge of I ran this woman out of rescue, because we had a situation set up where she was going to take the dogs from this lady because the lady had gotten over her head with dogs and different stuff. So she came to us and said, I will help. I will take some of the dogs because I'm in the same area. So Paula and I went about setting up. I get her on the phone with the lady with the dogs. Now all of a sudden, well, yes, I'm going to take the dogs, but there's one stipulation. You have to sign this contract that says that you're getting out of rescue. I was like, well, wait a minute. That ain't what. Paula, am I lying?
No, you're not.
Yeah, it's like.
What was the reason? Why did?
Because she wanted to get this credit for running this woman out of rescue. It was all about her.
Why do people want to stop other people from saving lives? Because that's what a lot of this crap is doing. What everybody needs to ask themselves is what I'm saying and what I'm doing, what is the result of it, and how is it going to affect the animals? Because the animals are more important than how you feel about somebody, than your pet peeves, than your personality conflicts. It's about the animals, number one.
That's right. Speaking of the animals, I want to ask the community, if anybody is familiar with a woman by the name of Kay Myers, okay, please get in touch with us, because Kay Myers has had a lot of tentacles into a lot of different things, and she's got some information that could help out a whole bunch of, answer a bunch of questions around the United States as far as dogs go that's coming out of shelters, going to rescues, good, bad, indifferent, whatever. I just wanted to ask.
We're talking about too, like about solutions, and I was thinking, like as a filmmaker or like a video specialist, I'm thinking, well, maybe if we can find somebody that is a specialist with social media and how to utilize it properly, like whether it's making more use of your filters or proper ways to kind of do good work without being subject. Maybe we can put together some videos or like some PSAs specifically directed for the rescue community that maybe like an informational kind of like series.
You could do
like
that.
Because that's what I'm saying. I know that's what I'm good at.
You can do it. I'll play it, and I'll ask you people to pass it around.
It may be having the defamation advocates or people that kind of know. It would require some people that are experts in managing or utilizing social media, but also people that are firmly entrenched in the rescue effort,
right?
And then video people,
right,
to say, okay, you know what? Here's maybe a how-to series,
right,
that can make it. We may not be able to fix the whole problem, but at least maybe we can get some
just make
some
people
information.
think a
Like
bit.
Here's the step-by-step thing. If you've got a Facebook or you're posting an article or you're doing a post, here are some things to kind of do. It's just like a training video.
Yeah,
for like a dog training. Like, this is,
anti-defamation type video. Because people, we need to make something that said, before you hit that enter button, think about what you said. Think about what you're doing. Because you said, Jenny, tell me this. Do you think it's possible that, somewhere in the future, as Danny just put it, really explained it about how YouTube grew and Facebook needs to be growing and stuff. Do you think it's possible in rescue? How can rescue help itself?
How can rescue help itself?
Yeah, because if bad people get into rescue and they are, the obvious is dog fighting, but then other things. I don't know what the whole flipping thing means.
I believe it means, exiting dogs and then selling them for personal profit.
Okay, like medical experiments and stuff, or what?
I think
personal profit.
Gain, meaning
But
like,
see,
you're not a nonprofit, you're pocketing the cash or whatever.
But I know people
in the
that
name of
everybody
rescue.
says that they are credible people that are doing that right now, and they're not a 501c.
Right.
And I could call names.
I think,
and everybody likes me. And my whole thing is to call their names. But because we weren't talking about them, I'm not going to call their names.
Yeah.
But they think that they're one of these self-righteous people out here, and they are making money off of dogs. And they're not a 501c,
Right.
but they are part of the whole troll committee that are putting everybody else down.
Well, I think there's a reason that shelters only allow 501s to pool.
Yeah, and they're not pulling in, but we'll get into that because that's one of my questions. But
one of the things that I've noticed, Foster, when you say how can the rescue community help itself, and this is just something just in the last couple of years, like interacting with rescues and doing the stuff that we do, not only for the show but also to try to help some of these rescues. I'm like, the large part of rescues that I've dealt with directly, they have a very loose or non-structured approach towards media or controlling their own brand. It's very loose because I think there is such a need where much of the work that you do is volunteer-based. It's like sometimes it's so frenetic and so fast-paced that it lacks the structure because of the timing, but rescues haven't really taken a lot of time to codify and take control of their own branding, specifically with their media, and that extends to their social media. And I think maybe as people that produce media or know the mechanisms of the technology, we need to be more active in engaging them directly and saying, you know what, there are better ways or more efficient ways or more ways to utilize media to help control your brand and to be less subject to some of the negativity that comes out there. And that's part of our responsibility as media creators.
Maybe we just got to show
just to try to kind of like get them more acclimated, because how many rescues have we encountered that say, oh yeah, this is my media department, they handle my thing. It's like, nah, it's the person that's doing the grunt work, the 12-hour 14-hour days, that also is trying to like be up at 3 a.m. networking some dog and whatever. They don't always have the time to do all the filters and all the proper things that would probably help them out a little bit.
And then the other thing that I hear too is they say that people who are really doing the rescue don't have time to be on Facebook.
That's what I figure, you know.
So the people, so it goes back to what Christopher was saying. Christopher was saying this is a need that people are fulfilling inside of them.
But there are also people that
aren't doing the work.
And Paula's a great representation of that, of people that are, I guess, networkers or whatever, that fulfill an absolutely critical, vital role in helping these animals.
It's a good informational tool.
It works very well, I think, for people that really know how to use it, that are like really dialed in. But I think your general population, especially people that are in rescue, they'll be like, hey, I'm a volunteer, like I do this on the side or whatever, and I just help out where I can. If they put out something like, hey, help out with this dog, and then here come the trolls that are like fully organized and devote 12 hours a day towards ruining people and doing it, like it's like and then you wind up like
well, let me ask, you know? Paula.
Yes.
So what is it that's missing? That's, you know, because it's not working now. So how do you look out for what's bad in the rescue world and guard against help protect? Because everybody's doing it all under the guise of, you know, saving the animals and protecting the dogs, you know, but it's not working when the people are losing.
Well, in my opinion, and this is just an opinion, everybody needs checks and balances. You know, you can't have somebody responsible for 5 different jobs and 4 of those are life, you know, depending on somebody's life is depending on that person, because you get hurried, you get sidetracked, you get life happens, grandkids need breakfast, you know, or whatever. There needs to be checks and balances. The egos need to be checked at the door. And rescue to me is a big puzzle. Everybody is a part of the puzzle. Everybody needs to do their job and not stick their nose in somewhere that they really don't know what they're talking about. You know, it's one thing if you ask someone, you know, well, okay, what does the puller do? Or what does the foster do? What is their job? You know, it's okay to educate yourself, but just because you are in rescue doesn't mean that you are an authority in every area of that and own that. Educate yourself. Lose the ego. Work well with others. You know, don't be one of these ones that's like, well, I'll just take my toys and go home. It doesn't work that way. These are lives. These are breathing lives that you're responsible for. You know, and I had the comment made to me about the dogs that I save. I don't personally save any dogs. Well, wait a minute. I do. But, you know, I network a lot of dogs. I can't tell you where each and every one of those dogs have gone to. You know, I get a message or I get a post that says the dog was rescued, the dog was adopted. You know, I move on to the next one. It's, you know, I can't go back and look at, you know, maybe a show we had 5 dogs rescued. I can't tell you where each and every one of those dogs are. I just, you know, I can't. There are other people that I'm sure probably can. I spend anywhere from 14 to 16 hours on the computer every day networking dogs, answering questions, getting information. You know, I don't try to come out and say, I'm a rescue, I do it all, because I don't. You know, I have a life sometimes outside of the show and helping foster. But, you know, to me, it's about the dog.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? On that note, I want to do this last set of dogs that you got while we got everybody's attention right now for a minute. So could you and Chris save these dogs for me? And
yes.
And we'll come right back and do the last segment of this show. Okay?
Okay.
Oh, whoa. Those are some great dogs there, Paula.
Yeah, those some good-looking dogs.
You know, I wish I had room for another one, but I'm maxed out at 5. But according to, if Animal Control is listening, I'm maxed out at 3. Yeah. You know, so, but those are some beauties. So, guys, we have low friends in high places. If you are somewhere around the country and you want these dogs, we can help get them there. You know, we have guys that when they're not flying marijuana around the country, they got room for dogs. Okay, so we get you
and truckers.
Those are
truckers.
Those are high friends in low places.
That's right. And we're not going to even mention Richard's name, but Richard Jennings. He will put a dog in a truck, and he drives across country.
Yeah, Richard, much love to you, dude. That dude, he's out there in his semi, man, state to state, taking dogs and exchanging dogs that don't have much chance in certain states because they like certain other dogs. Yeah. And bless you, Richard, for the work that you're doing, brother, wherever you are on those highways.
See, so we got it like that. So don't just think because those dogs may be in the Carolinas or in the Pennsylvanias or wherever, and you in Texas and, you know, Detroit or whatever. Well, we ain't going to say nothing about Detroit. Right, Gordon? Yeah.
There's a Pilots for Paws.
That's right.
In the Carolinas, and there are a lot of pilots. If you want one of these dogs, you just put on the board, I need a dog flown from where they are to where you are, and they'll do it for free if they're going that way. Or they'll, instead of just taking a joyride, they'll take a dog and
I'm sure there's somebody online bashing those pilots saying, hey, you know what kind of gas they use? They're not using unleaded, they're using 89 or whatever. It's like, all right, dude, go ahead.
That's the way of the world. There's
Pilots and Paws.
Pilots and Paws.
Wings of Rescue is another one.
Yeah, but they don't really do. Wings of Rescue does a lot of larger flights, like cross country or from LA to Vancouver.
They brought a dog down to our rescue, one dog from Sacramento to San Diego. It was a little handicapped paraplegic dog.
Oh, okay.
And they flew the one dog down. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just thinking because it's the East Coast, and Pilots of Paws does a lot of work on the East Coast.
Oh, right.
But either way, you know, there's lots of different transport companies that are willing to help, and that's the whole point of all of this. Everyone that is working to help animals, most of it's volunteer work, most of it's conscience driven, And the fact of the matter, as I said before, it's all about the dogs. You know what? I'm gonna change that. Of course, it's all about the dogs, but it's also about these people who are working to save them, and they should not be subjected to the ridicule, the defamation, the hearsay. I've had it done to me. I don't know anyone who it hasn't been done to, and that's just plain wrong. This is a race against death. If you start yep, and doing high school with people, you're getting in the way.
Yeah.
You're killing animals just with your talking and what you can turn into. And then Carson, this rescue can't rescue the 30 dogs a month because of all of this. King was aggressive. Someone deemed it that he should be euthanized. I don't think, blaming Monica, the puller. What are you people trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish?
The dog would have been dead if she hadn't pulled it in the first place. So that was the other point.
So
it was like,
support
I don't
people.
understand.
Don't stab them in the back.
Right.
Support these people.
Plus, go find. This is the thing to me. Now, if we all work together, if you see somebody that they're fighting dogs, right? Now, here's a clear point of attack. This is something that we see. They got dogs in their backyard all scratched up and, ears chewed off. These people are fighting dogs. That kind of a thing we need to be going after. When you
Craigslist.
Go after some.
Call
Craigslist.
people, backdoor breeders on Craigslist. Spend your time calling these people.
All this energy on someone who obviously has great intentions. They're trying their best to do the right thing. And any one of you that has never had, what's that term? A rescue go bad or had a problem, period, had never made a mistake. That's why this Jennifer, make a thread, what's her face? Jennifer, you need to really check yourself out there because, you're full of yourself. And self-righteousness and the reality. Have some experiences in your life. So you pull 5 dogs. Get out there and have a life. That's Danny. That's like a guy trying to tell us about make a movie. He just came out of film school. You know what I mean? Make 100. Then come and talk all that stuff.
Try to swarm them with love and info. Like I just say, come here, let me hug you and shake some of that craziness about you.
Oh, you're new at rescue. Let me help you out.
Yeah.
That's not the way you do it, and don't yelling at people, and
making ugly threads though. That's the thing. We got to one of my other shows, man. I think it's called I Wish You Love or something like that. But it's like, guys, everybody's on the same page. Everybody's trying to accomplish the same thing. Try love, man. Love is the key. Nobody wants to hear. That's why when she says, Monica was saying deny. Nobody wants to hear anything you got to say if you are screaming and cursing at them and telling them they're wrong and telling everybody else, hey, he's over here, he's hiding. It's like, where's the love?
Plus,
Support
there's repeat offenders. Keep your ears open. Watch people. When you see the same people.
After actually hearing the names and seeing all this stuff come out, I did Google, some of these names like Donna Barone and things, and I was amazed. They pop up all over the internet as doing this to other people and other rescues.
Right.
This is what they do. This is how they find their enjoyment.
They don't have. Christopher said it.
They're not networkers. They're
they
they're
don't
lynch
have
mobs.
a life. Yeah, they don't have anything else, and they don't have jobs. They don't have.
Could they be Manchurian candidates?
Networking is a crucial part of rescue, and without the networkers, rescues would not necessarily find out about a lot of these dogs. Yes, the shelters do have employees and volunteers that work for them that will actually blast out dogs that are red listed or have behavioral issues and stuff like that. And so that's really great, but not all shelters have the manpower to do that. These networkers go into the shelters on their own time. They photograph and they video individually these dogs and they network them to rescues. I'm in San Diego. how else would I find out about these dogs in the LA shelters unless I just went on their websites, and
Right.
they're not all on the websites. It's because of these networkers
There's
doing
people like Paula. Yeah.
Exactly, spending all their time doing it. So it's just sad to me that there's people out there that have that time on their hands that could be
To
doing
spread that hate,
networking,
yeah.
and all they're doing is
And
that.
attacking these good people who are spending their time and energy and money
Right.
and saying things that are directly the opposite of what they're all about.
Well, you know, it's funny,
Jennifer
though.
kept saying about the facts, but she had nothing to substantiate anything.
Well,
Anything. I was very open-minded.
That's
I wanted to
that's a
hear what she had to say.
catchphrase. They say
Well,
they talk
Lisa
about
called
the
that-
facts. I have the facts, and then you say, "What are they?" Also, a catchphrase is, "You didn't have a plan." You didn't have a plan.
There was a plan in place that got bungled,
Exactly.
and that,
Those are
that
the
can happen.
But those are the catchphrases she's saying. See, and that's why I wanted you here. And Lisa, you called the Jennifer thing tremendously. I mean, you hit it right on the head. And you say, Foster, you expecting answers, and they can't. They never answer you. They never say, because they can't. The thing is this. It's amazing that how do you live when you said you Googled Donna Barone. As soon as I read off of this thing, and I didn't know she was even part of this whole thing, I saw her name and just popped her. And then Lisa, here you are in Florida. How does a person, what's going on in her head that this is your reputation? This is now in today of the internet and the web. This is what goes out about you around the world, that people know that you harass people, that you you spew hate.
But is it possible that she's a character?
Huh?
Is it possible that she's a character? I mean, it may be a real name or whatever,
No, it's
but
a
kind
real
of like
person.
I want to get like conspiracy or whatever, but like, like certain people, they're employed or they've got a sub agenda that's being, whether it's funded or supported by something to act a certain way.
They don't have a life. It's pretty much that simple.
Like people that are agitators, like,
over
hey, you know what?
in Altadena,
Over here.
I think they think they're doing good. They think they're
of course.
policing.
It's
I think they truly,
it's the psychosis.
they think they're finding bad rescues and bringing these bad rescues to justice. And there are bad rescues, and there's bad rescuers, and there's dog hoarders, and there's all these types of things. And
Right.
And I totally agree with bringing those, into the light, but they're going after legitimate rescues,
Right.
and people who are doing good things.
Some little
You don't
tiny
threaten
thing
lives.
can
You
happen.
don't do that.
Right.
Like, let's say a dog.
It gives them purpose.
Like a dog peed in a crate before you got the dog to the foster. Like, they'll take something like that and go, the dog was a whole day and they wouldn't let the dog out, and then they beat the dog, and that's why the dog peed. And they start embellishing. And the dog peed in the crate. The dog was in the crate for 10 minutes. And
When I
he
did look
peed.
at the thread briefly before I blocked it because I just didn't want to know about any of the crazy stuff on there, I did see something about, well, if it was aggressive at the vet, it's probably because the vet tech was not handling it nicely. I saw that and I'm like, are you joking? Now we're blaming the vet tech for being mean to the dog, and that's why the dog bit.
Well, there are no such things as aggressive dogs that have been through too much.
And by the way, it was an owner surrender, that dog.
Yeah.
So, who knows?
Lisa, you were saying something, I'm sorry, before?
Yeah, I wanted to say that people like Donna Barone and other people I know in South Florida, one of them runs a website who totally tries to out rescues that are legitimate rescues. I'd rather not say her name to give her extra publicity, but she's been dragged into court multiple times and has lost every time.
You can say her name.
But the other interesting thing to me is that...
I'll say it.
Text you the name? Sure. The interesting thing to me, I'll text it when I can type, is that they actually say, why would a rescue in Florida help a rescue in Washington? And I just want to pound my head and say, there's this thing called the internet where people have friends all over the country and they talk to them this way, and that's why we kind of help each other. It's just this stupid bullshit that flows out of their mouths so easily. They don't have any stopper just stop it. There's no a filter for them.
Right.
So they
they're
say what they want.
Chronic complainers.
And there are shelters around the country that have lack of small dogs and vice versa.
Right.
That's very real. And I saw something on one of those screenshots that said somebody researched this and it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
That there's no small dogs in Canada. There is lack of small dogs in certain parts of
Well,
Canada.
I've heard that from our
100%.
show.
And on these homes, too.
There's a million chihuahuas
we're
here
next to
in
Mexico,
Southern California.
so we have a big chihuahua
For people that deal with transport, they'll let you know really quickly.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
There's
hey,
not
you know
that
what?
many
In this
chihuahuas
area,
on the East Coast.
I can take these pit bulls from down here where they're super saturated.
Yeah.
If I take them up to New York or something like that, they're, vice
Right.
versa,
Although
they're not gonna
pit
have a
bulls
chance.
is really the one.
Because they know in New York they're
been
not gonna be able to
overbred.
have those big dogs. They're like, hey, if I take these dogs from like New York down south, they'll have a shot.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of which, right now, guys, just this little personal thing, English bulldog puppy. Okay, a healthy one. I know I could get one that's sick and did it, but the situation he's got to go into, it can't be a sick dog. So if anybody is rescuing English bulldogs and you got a puppy, hit me up right away. Okay, you got
No breeders.
No breeders.
No breeders.
Exactly.
It's
Thank
gotta
you
be a
very much.
rescue
It's got to
puppy.
be a rescue. That's right. Exactly.
It would be great if a lot of these people that spend a lot of time on Facebook did start a team and start going through Craigslist.
Yeah.
And nailing these people, get their address, and they're doing a lot of damage.
That's right.
Selling dogs of Craigslist, and nobody's doing anything, but everybody's got the time to sit there and complain about somebody and call people names.
Right.
You're not helping the animals.
That's right. If you want to do something to help the animal, if you want to start a thread and get, all excited about doing something and show what a wonderful animal saver and activist you are, spread the word about Breeder X. Okay? Breeder X can change the world. But threatening people is not going to change
Positive.
Breeder X, pump that series. Let's get that on TV. You want to change the world? Let Breeder X change the world. Yes. I'm sitting here got a cholo next to me over here.
What?
It's like, just stop being so tough online. Stop being that keyboard terrorist, man. Because it doesn't work. Because
all for one cause.
And this is the other thing is, today it's this person. Tomorrow it's you. Next week it's him. Then it's her, and then not me again. Y'all know, because I'm going to go black and let the ghetto come out of me, Danny. We get a couple of the brothers, and we roll out to Pasadena, because it's just like...
Well, I just didn't want to... I don't want to... One of the things that really got me up and made me want to come down was just our last show that we did a couple weeks ago, and you're really emphatic saying that these issues can boil into a point where it actually either costs somebody their life or does irreparable damage, which is what's being done to people's their integrity and their lifestyle. But if it's something that can fester and boil to a point where people are committing suicide or somebody's going on a rampage,
and there have been
whatever,
suicides.
It's like people will
in rescue.
And I'll tell you,
really seriously.
And the courts are getting strict.
If we can do anything that at least whether it shows some light on it or to get the dialogue going, I think that we're doing a good thing, and we're just getting it started. So just thanks to everybody for participating.
I'm going to go on record as a 63-year-old African American Vietnam vet. I will kill before I hurt myself. So you people don't even think about doing them to me, because I ain't gonna commit suicide unless it is murder suicide.
One thing that I'm doing,
on the following radio program.
One thing that I'm doing is, and I started experimenting with this with Paula actually, is being solution oriented.
Yes.
And I'm trying to figure out how I can use the technology that I use with some of my other work with streaming and stuff like that for the rescues, to give them a different alternative or a different platform to effectively network these dogs. And me and Paula sat down and worked out. You helped us out as well, Foster. It's like a virtual rescue apparatus. And I'm working out the kinks of it to see if it'll actually be effective. But the little test that we did, I think, went pretty well, at least in the execution side of it. But hopefully it'll allow people another pipeline to be able to quickly and effectively network animals in bulk without having to deal with the trolling. So I'm going to do what I can. You guys keep doing what you can. And people that are out there on the front line doing rescue work, don't be put off by all this negativity and shy away from the things that you're doing that you know are good and know are making a difference, because without you, the problem just continues to escalate. And I know it seems like an unsurmountable obstacle, but it depends on all of us. So just keep doing what you do. And for the people that are really getting victimized and hurt by this, we've got your back, and we're trying to help shield you from that stuff. So.
Hey, Paula, yeah, I need to hear from you before we still got a few minutes, but somebody text me, just for you guys' edification out there, something called Trolls of Rescue Blogspot and Dog Rescue Trolls Blogspot. I don't know what those are, but maybe they say that they're trying to keep track of troll people. I don't know if there's a need to keep track of troll people. I think we're trying to lose some troll people. But
and the website Rescue Harassment Must Stop. Group of people started it. Some people think that I did, but there's a group of people that started it, and they post. Some of them are in the field of law, and they'll post different things about defamation, harassment, the difference between libel and slander, what the civil codes are, and things like that. So
we need to get with them and maybe get some PSAs.
Yeah, we're gonna do some stuff.
Yeah.
We're gonna take. I hadn't thought of it. See, that's why you're here today. Okay, because
I didn't bring any donuts like I usually do, so I know I had to do something
it's like
to earn my keep.
I hadn't even thought about that. Instead of us trying to, and me mainly, trying to make sense to some of these
that's what baffles me. I'm like, dude, don't spend your time trying to figure out what idiots are doing. Like, let's look inward and see what it is that we can do, because there's a bunch of powerful, strong people just in this room.
Right. Well, that's why Paula said, Danny needs to be here, damn it. Don't make her right, Danny.
She just likes to see you get donuts.
Christ,
she's out for your personal
You make her
interest.
right, and then you have to listen to her. Paula, you had something to say?
Actually, I do.
Okay.
I just want to say that between Foster and I, we have 22 different pages and groups that we run together. And, I just don't have time for all of the BS and the negativity. And for me, it's about the dogs. So once again, I'm going to make this public announcement. If you are on my friends list and you are not about helping dogs, if you're about bashing people and causing problems, get the hell off my friends list.
I'm joining that. I'm doing that, Paula. I'm getting in there, which I need to go through mine because I just got too many dead weight friends. Listen, this is a question I wanted to make totally clear that that Kings, and I know Monica's not here anymore, but maybe you can, if you remember, King was evaluated as aggressive, correct?
Yes.
Okay, that was it. So Monica didn't just take King into the backyard and cut his throat.
No, and he was evaluated at the shelter as aggressive too.
Okay, so
and by the veterinarian.
Right, and by veterinarian. So it was a process. So it
wasn't just one incident either.
Okay,
because we understand that dogs come out of shelters and they can seem aggressive in a shelter, and when they're in a different environment, they're completely different.
Right. Okay.
We understand that. That's why we pull a lot of these dogs that have, quote, behavioral issues at shelters, because we know it's not always the case.
Okay. I just wanted to make that perfectly clear because, it in case it had slipped through the cracks, because that's where we started. I wanted to come back to the end. Is Christopher still here?
I don't know.
Huh?
I'm not sure. Can I say one thing about something that I found out recently that was very, very interesting to me?
No, absolutely not. But go ahead.
I published an article probably about 7 days ago. Being in Los Angeles, maybe you had heard of it. There was a veterinarian who was a cancer survivor for 5 years, who had a pit bull who was her service dog. her emotional support dog. She depended on the dog. The dog got loose. The dog escaped while the woman was on vacation. She has been spending probably 15 to 20 days with her boyfriend looking for the dog. She went on social media to try to find this dog. I was contacted to write it up. I said, sure, I'll help. I was afraid that, okay, it's a pit bull. I'm going to be slammed by pitbullarmy.org or whatever they are. But nobody said anything nasty. Dogbite.org. Yeah.
Ugly people.
So nobody said anything nasty. I was shocked. Maybe because she's pretty. She's a veterinarian. She's had cancer. This was her emotional support dog. So I was shocked that not one person said anything bad. Oh, glad it was a pit bull and it should just have been hit by a car, like they all should be, or whatever they say. But in any event, I thank God she used social media, and she was able to get the dog back last night at 8 o'clock at night.
Oh, wow.
We were so happy.
Wow.
Awesome. 20 days. Wow.
So
Wow.
happy.
That's a miracle.
Yes. Yes.
That's a miracle.
She never stopped looking, and she wants to thank all of her friends on social media who posted, who cross-posted, who went out, who put out flyers, who made phone calls, who went into areas of California that they should not have been walking around in without a police escort, and she got the dog back.
Wow. That's amazing. So, Christopher, you had your mic on mute, I understand, Christopher? Hello. All right, Christopher.
Typing.
Oh, he's typing? I've been hung up on by bigger names. No. Christopher, okay. Whenever you get finished doing that, you can chime in, Christopher, as long as we're still here. Whoops. Was that you? Okay, I want to say thank you so much, Linda, for coming in. And
Thank you for doing this.
Oh,
This is fantastic. This is so needed.
I had nothing else to do but get up and drive 75 miles and come in here.
But this subject is important.
Thank you. Well, we're trying to just make a change, man. We're trying to make it better for the animals at the end of the day. Danny has just put whole nother kind of thought process in my head. And I want to say a couple of things. One, Breeder X. We need the support for Breeder X. Two, we've been blessed that our show is... and different stuff has been picked up in 2 different sort of areas. We're going to be expanding, so we'll be going worldwide and a lot of other stuff. And we're trying to do some stuff with the help of a Hollywood friend, and you know who you are. We may even be doing some television stuff. So, and for the people that say, well, your audience did it. We don't work the show. Danny and I, Paula, we don't do this for ratings. We don't do this for money. I don't get paid. This costs me money every week that you see these shows. It costs me money. It costs Paula. It costs Danny. We are getting nothing. It costs Pitbull Energy Drink. It costs RMC Studios for us to do this. Nobody's making money. This is out of me begging and pleading and asking Danny to come in here and stalking Paula for 6 months in order for her to come to be the woman that she is, to be part of this for me with Pitbull Energy Drink. So the bottom line is we do this out of love. It ain't money. When people try to... the troll people, they try to put us down. They say, well, you ain't got that many people. It's like, you watching. So, we doing it for y'all. So we're trying to educate and just do it and have fun with it. I want to say, Monika, you are not here, but I want to thank you and Ted or Todd. I fucked that. Don. That's his name, Don. So I want to thank you and Don for coming in, and you guys are so wonderful. I'm sorry that you and your family have had to go through that. Again, regardless, people. I like to think that there's more good people out there than there's bad people. And for people who don't know you guys and don't know what you do and now don't know what you've done, they don't know how they hurt you. Those people who have nothing to do but spew hate and can't find any love is probably because they got hate, around them. They grew up with hate. They hating their life. They don't want to look in the mirror and see what they see. So they're looking out to strike out at somebody else. So,
Exactly.
Is that correct, Christopher?
Yes. I was just going to say, I take a lot from this call. It was very educational in so many ways. The technology, I think the one girl there said the attorneys and the vet that she would have in there, and an anti-defamation element within her. As a hedge fund, I look at projects all day, and something like that would make my ears perk up. That needs to go on out there. What the counters will say, though, is they'll say that you're limiting their free speech, that you're not allowing them to speak and everything else. But that's the same thing the militias and the supremacists say. So, yes, like you said, they have the hate. They don't know where else to put it. They spew it uncontrollably because they're misguided, and they have to look within. But towards the solutions, I think even some things on this call have been very productive. It'd be nice to get some of that software, some of that technology, so we could limit that. There's a whole lot of good rescues out there. There's a whole lot of need for this, and there's a whole lot of people willing. Sure, you're always going to have your detractors, some people that are trying to undermine it. They may mean well. They're not well, I think, but they think they're saving dogs. Some people don't even think pit bulls should be bred or should even be out there. Some people think they should even be eradicated, but that's not advocacy. That's not caring. That's not tolerance. So there's a whole lot that goes into it. So there's a very educational call all together, and I'm appreciative to have been here.
Well, you guys, thank you for participating. Jenny, thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure.
And I hope you guys get your reputation restored. And, I don't see why it should have been damaged at all.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I think the serious people that are in rescue, the ones that matter, they know us.
Yes.
So,
okay.
You're real friends.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're real friends. And any of the dogs who are dying today, I'm sorry for you, babies. Any of the dogs that are dying because these people are running people away from helping you. Any of you dogs that are dying, and cats who are dying because people are just spending their time hating and destroying other people and not trying to save your life. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that, because humans are really better than that. They just have to get over themselves sometimes. So, Paula Archer, happy birthday. I love you.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, I just want to do one shameless plug for our friends at Dogs Without Borders. They've got their Strut Your Mutt event. It's a very large event that goes on annually out here in association with Best Friends, and they do a wonderful walk where you can bring out your dogs and go walk for a good cause and stuff. So it's a No Kill LA and Best Friends Society. But if you need more information, go to dogswithoutborders.org. And if you can bring your dog out and go have some fun, do something for a good cause, it's coming up in about a week and a half. So it's the Strut Your Mutt event. It's going on here in LA if you're in the local area. And if you're looking for more information, go to dogswithoutborders.org and send them some love and support. And that's a good event. And we're going to go down there and obviously do some camera work and coverage and shed some light on the people that are doing good work on the front lines. So.
All right. So, see, that's why he's in here today, because he now owe him one. So, hey, guys.
One last thing.
Sure.
We have a program called Save the Chi with Rusco, who started as the Beverly Hills Chihuahua. He was actually saved from euthanasia from Moreno Valley.
Hey.
And Allison Eastwood, and we're going to be doing a lot of wonderful, we're going to be doing transports, targeted spay-neuter, education with George Lopez, and lots of other stuff. So check it out, Save the Chi. We're on Facebook, and we're going to try to get all the cheese.
That's right. And
out of there.
Get that cheese out of there. And so lastly, Christopher.
And Allison needs to get a hold of us.
That's right. And you talking to Lisa?
Linda.
Yes. They all look alike. That's what I said. Christopher, Danny and I are going to be in touch with you. I'll text you emails because we got to talk, because we got some stuff we can do, brother. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much again.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Dad, what's for dinner?